We are here at Farmer Amy's Woodgrove Farm in Mount Ola. Amy's one of our producers at Sovereign Traditions, and we have decided, as we've done meal kits, to add her pork into a lot of our meal kits. So she's welcomed me into her kitchen today, and we are going to cook with you one of our awesome recipes. You guys should have received a recipe card. It's chorizo, chorizo zucchini boat, and we're going to have a side of corn on the cob with that, which is going to be absolutely delicious. I'm excited to get started. Inside their kit, they're actually going to get quite a few things for a family of 4.
All right.
Which is really neat. We're trying our best to make sure that it's as convenient as possible for families to eat whole foods. So by getting in their kit, they're going to have 4 certified organic zucchinis. They're going to have approximately a pound of chorizo, an 8-ounce pepper jack cheese from Ashe County, and then they're going to have 4 corn on the cob with that's still in the husk, which we're really excited about. So without further ado, Amy, why don't we, I know you've got the chorizo in there. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the zucchini and cutting those.
Okay.
And then maybe you could grab the chorizo.
Sure.
But first, hey, what about your pigs? Tell me a little bit about your pigs before we get too much into eating some chorizo.
Yep.
Tell me about how your pigs are raised.
So I raise my pigs in the woods. They are raised either if in the summertime in the woods behind our home. It's a good 10 to 15 degrees cooler in the woods than anywhere else on the farm or anywhere in Mount Ola or North Carolina for that matter, as hot as it's been lately. So they are incredibly comfortable. They have access to plants, to roots, to insects, or grubs, or ants, whatever they feel like they want to eat. They are supplemented with grain. I do supplement a locally sourced non-GMO grain, which they have access to free of choice as much as they want. They also get scraps and watermelon rinds and tomato peels or
all the veggies, all the good stuff.
All the good stuff that we should be eating, they also eat because their tummies are a lot like ours.
It's awesome. And my favorite thing that she always says, and this is something for you guys that get attached, of course, with animals and stuff like that, is they have a wonderful life here at the farm and one bad day. And then we get to enjoy them for a considerable amount of time, and it becomes nutrition for our bodies as well.
Absolutely.
So,
and they serve a purpose on our farm too. They are helping me to clear my woods. Our woods were significantly overgrown with weeds, with weedy privet, which is an invasive plant. Our woods were just overgrown. We couldn't enjoy them. We couldn't go into the woods. It's just really hard to enjoy it, and we're now able to let the woods kind of become what they were supposed to be. And I have plants in there that I haven't seen in years, and we're really excited to see that the biological changes that have occurred thanks to my pigs.
Thanks to the pigs. I think all the animals are needed on a farm,
Absolutely.
and that's part of regenerative farming.
It's a cycle.
Exactly. So, and that's something that we do try to promote at Sovereign Traditions. All of our farmers have a regenerative farming mindset, which is really cool. So let's get started on those zucchini boats. I know that's what they're ready for, and
me too.
Yeah, right. I'm hungry too. So we're going to actually be cooking for our families this evening, which is really neat. So I'll get started with our produce and go ahead and get this washed up. And then if you want to grab the chorizo, you could get that started while I'm doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. So the chorizo will be frozen. And it's an easy thaw. Oh my goodness, I've got too much in my refrigerator. But it's an easy thaw. I like to take it and put it in a bowl put the frozen chorizo in a bowl of hot water and just let it sit for maybe 15, 20 minutes, and it will thaw incredibly quickly. So this is one of the packs of the chorizo. Let me see if I can find a knife or a pair of scissors to open up the plastic. And what I like to do, I do like to cook it in some sort of fat. My favorite is bacon grease because, bacon grease makes everything taste better. So I'll take a little bit of bacon grease and I'll oil my pan with it and let it heat up. And while it does that, I'll open up my chorizo.
Now, Amy, whenever I make the chorizo, I use it for tacos and things like that. So hopefully we'll be able to do some of those meal kits as well. But I don't use fat. I feel like it has enough fat.
It does. Well, and it's good healthy fat. But I liked it just in case, so it keeps it from burning and adds a little bit of that bacon flavor.
That's right.
That's just me.
All right. Well, you get that going, and I'm going to go ahead and start working on this zucchini.
Ooh, yay.
I went ahead and I washed up the zucchini. And I'm going to just cut off the ends here. Now once we cut off the ends, I'm going to slice them as best I can down the middle. And the reason why we're doing that is because we are going to scoop out the insides. Now, but just taking a really, like just a spoon, and I'm going to scrape this into a bowl because we're saving the flesh on the inside, okay? So just scraping, we're making literally a boat that's going to hold the chorizo and the cheese, so which is really good. So we'll get that. We got 8 of those, so that's enough for 1 or 2 apiece. You know, depending upon if you have kids, they may not eat, but maybe 1. But you still want to leave a little bit of flesh because you're going to be cooking this, okay? So we'll get that one. We've got a baking dish, a 9 by 13 baking dish that's already been greased. We're ready to go with that. So once Amy gets the chorizo cooked fully, we'll be adding this back into the chorizo, and then we'll be cooking it.
Absolutely, and all I'm doing is browning the chorizo. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. And what's great about the chorizo is it already has all the flavor you need.
Right.
You don't have to add any seasoning, even any salt or pepper. It has everything in it. If you want a little pepper, you do you. But I choose to just let it be as it is. And that's also why I like it for tacos or for chili. Fantastic with chili, and it's incredibly easy.
Now remember, all of our produce is certified organic or organically grown. So everything that you're receiving in your meal kit is, you're going to still want to wash it off. Anytime that you have produce, I do recommend that you wash it off because there's still things like compost that's going to be used, right? So you want to make sure that you've washed all of that pretty thoroughly off of any of the produce that you receive.
And you don't know who's been handling your produce either. You know, not to say that any farmer is going to do anything, but what about in the store, or what about, you know, the middleman, whoever has been packaging it? You never know, and it's always good to wash up.
Absolutely. Now, Amy, what, as far as the chorizo, do you have any idea what kind of spices and all that they use in there?
Ooh, I actually don't.
Like chili, I definitely can taste that maybe there's like chili in there.
What's nice about it is that, you know, you do have a kind of a general ingredient list on the label, and it says chili pepper, salt, spices, garlic powder, and spice extractives. So, of course, they're not going to let you know, like, the specific stuff that really makes it taste good.
Then everybody would know their secret, right?
Exactly.
So Amy, we want to make sure and tell everyone, if they do love your chorizo, they can get that, of course, at Sovereign Traditions. Yeah. Anytime during the week, you can come shopping and purchase some more of the chorizo if you'd like to do something else with it. But we've got like the meal kits were just going to be really easy for you to utilize, and it's locally sourced, so you have to think about that. Amy's within about 5 miles of the store, and all of our meat is raised within about 5-mile radius of the store. So you know where your food's coming from. You're getting to meet our farmers, and most of the time, one of them is actually at the store, especially Amy.
It's usually me. Especially in the summertime, it's usually me.
That's right, and they're kids, and so you're supporting, by buying these meal kits, you're supporting their family as well as my family. So we're getting to keep it the economy local as possible, which is always a blessing too. So you get quality local foods plus get to bless other families, which that's a win-win in my book. Now, Amy, about how long does it take to get that chorizo fully cooked?
Oh my goodness. I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes at the very most. Yeah, I mean, it's halfway cooked right now. I mean, and it really hadn't been that long at all.
Right. Well, and if you're doing this by yourself at home, no worries. Do one thing at a time. You know, you can prepare the zucchini boats ahead of time. We just felt like, for video's sake, that it was easier for us to do this together for time saving. We have the kiddos and husbands riding by right now. They just went and fed the pigs in the woods. So
yeah, my sweet husband helps me a lot, but honestly, I do the majority of the feeding and the moving. I do occasionally move my pigs, especially as they get bigger, to give them a little bit more space. And he is incredibly helpful. But he's my fixer. So I've had people ask him before, or he's had people ask him, like, okay, so does your wife really do the farming? And it is me. And I think that's important with a woman-owned business, that that people realize that I'm making the management decisions, but I'm also doing the work.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
on top of everything else.
We are, I'm getting close here, Aim. How close are you?
Oh, getting there. Pretty
Okay.
close.
All right. I'll go ahead, and what I'm going to do, hopefully you guys can see what the flesh kind of looks like. It almost reminds you of whenever you do jack-o'-lanterns, I guess, or whatever, the pumpkins. When you're cleaning out a pumpkin, it's a squash. So is zucchini. It's a squash. So it's going to have some seeds. The zucchini doesn't have, if it's picked early enough, it's not going to have a ton of seeds. So you'll be able to cook all of this down in with the chorizo, which will be good, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I will set that to the side until Amy's done. I'm going to go ahead and grab this baking dish, and we are going to put the zucchini boats inside of here, so that way I can hand it off to Amy whenever she gets finished.
Probably by the time you get done loading those zucchini boats in there, I'll be done.
That'll be awesome. The cool thing, we did go ahead and grate some cheese right beforehand. We went ahead and grated the cheese, because the cheese that you have gotten comes from Ashe County, North Carolina. And I would like to remind you, the majority of everything that we have in the store does come from NC, as well as local as possible to the store. Meaning we start at the store and work our way out. If there's something we can't get, we go a little bit further. But the Ashe County cheese, pretty famous. If you haven't tried it, you need to. You should go by and even see how it's made. So it comes in a package.
So it's going to be in a block.
Yep. And so you're going to need to shred it. Now, you can cut it if you do not have something to shred it with, like a grater. Amy's got this grater here. So we can do that. We'll go ahead and we can grate the cheese and we'll put it on top. But if you do not have a grater, you can always slice it, okay? You can slice it pretty thin. It's not a big deal at all. So, how much cheese do we have, Amy?
I have a half a block.
Okay.
Already grated.
So I'm gonna go. We can go ahead and probably just grate some more in here. If I don't grate my fingers
I know.
off.
I'm always
Be
worried
careful.
about that.
Yeah. Totally. Whenever canning season happens, the mandolin's like my arch nemesis. Every time I do pickles, I'm like, oh no. So. We are, this pepper jack does have a little bit of spice to it, so on top of the chorizo and the pepper jack, just kind of be ready if you have little ones. If not, you could always use like a Monterey or something that's not.
Cheddar. I mean, any of that works.
That's
just cheese. Even like a queso fresco, something like that would be just phenomenal.
Wonderful, absolutely. We'll see how much. I think we're going to end up needing to use the whole block, which is what I was hoping for anyway.
And in the meantime, all the chorizo is already browned. So you can see how easy that was.
Yeah, so it doesn't take any time. That way we can, I'll let you, Amy, we'll go ahead and I will finish grating this. I'll let you start putting this back in.
Sure, happily. I'm just going to dump it in there. Easy peasy.
So, Amy, that squash, it shouldn't take but a couple of minutes. I mean, it's almost like getting it warm. I know that it's funny that people don't think about asparagus and some of the squashes you can actually eat raw.
Oh, yeah.
I like asparagus raw on a veggie plate or something like that. And zucchini, I can do zucchini raw and chunk it up into small pieces. And it will, it's pretty yummy in a salad.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those real diverse kind of vegetables.
That's right. All right, so I'm down to the last little bit, but we're full here, so I'm going to hold tight. Let me try to get some of the rest of this picked up here. I try to keep it very clean. Are you a messy cook?
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? I'm incredibly messy.
That's what
Isn't it obvious?
I'm thinking a messy cook means it's a good cook, right?
That's what my mother-in-law always says.
Good. Glad I'm in good company. All right, dear. So we will, now this one is a little bit small, so we probably just can double stack. I'll just pull a couple of these out.
Sure. Yeah, and I have another container
we can
well.
We can do another one later.
Yeah.
That'll be perfect. All right.
That's what's nice about this too is you have a lot to eat.
That's right.
There's a lot to eat. There's a lot with it.
There's plenty.
Okay.
So go ahead and fill that up.
Okay.
We'll finish up and we're going to put this on top. Now, you're going to need to bake this in the oven. So you can preheat your oven. You can pop that on about 350. And if you check out your recipe card, it's going to tell you all that information as well. But 350 is going to be about 25 to 30 minutes for that to fully cook. We're just basically wanting the zucchini to get tender and the cheese to melt. So yeah, good 25 to 30 minutes, and the zucchini is gonna be done.
Oh, and don't forget to preheat your oven like I just did. It's fine.
It's fine. You know, I tend to forget that sometimes myself. So.
It's fine. It's all fine.
We are, now what we decided to go with this, just because it's seasonal here, right now corn is being picked like crazy. This only lasts a few weeks, so we wanted to take full advantage of having certified organic corn that's just right down the road, Amy's neighbor. So, and it's, again, within 5 miles of the store, it's grown and it's certified organic, so how cool is that? This is a bicolor corn too, so we're going to show you how to shuck it and clean off the silk and then get that ready too.
All right.
All right, Amy. I'm down to the last little bit
Perfect.
of this.
And I'm done with this.
All righty.
So, and all I did was ladle, was spoon the chorizo squash boat mixture into the boats.
So it's,
Yep.
yeah.
Easy, and I kind of did a little bit at a time to make sure I had enough. So I still have a little bit left over for these 3 right here. And then sprinkle a little cheese on top, and that's it.
And then we're going to be, oh, this is going to be so good. So guys, it doesn't take a lot to eat healthy.
Or local.
Right, local and healthy. This is the best. Local, organic, and healthy. Let's just add all the things. All the things. All right. So once we get this in the oven, I think we're going to go after that corn. You're going to want to go ahead and boil your water for your corn. And once you get
Get that started.
Yeah. While she'll heat that up. Hopefully while we're doing that, and then Amy, I'll let you go ahead and put that in the oven.
Let's hope that my oven's not too dirty, so it doesn't smoke.
Doesn't smoke. You got it.
Thank you.
All right.
Perfect.
Yummy, yummy. All right. Perfect. So we are going to go ahead and grab the corn. And Amy, I know it sounds crazy, but there may be quite a few people that don't know how to shuck corn, because you can buy it in a can.
Right.
You can buy it frozen already.
You can buy it shucked already. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
That's
it's
right.
just, and especially organic corn can be a little, sometimes you give a surprise. I have a feeling there's going to be a surprise in here. If you get an ear corn and it kind of has this little brown smushy stuff, that is just evidence of a worm. The beauty of organic, if you see a worm, it means it hasn't had anything sprayed on it. So corn is really one of those crops that gets sprayed with insecticides a lot. And remember, most if not all insecticides are non-selective, which means they kill everything. They'll kill your honeybees, they'll kill your monarch butterflies, they'll kill your other butterflies, as well as the worm. So think about that. If it'll kill a worm,
right,
what could it do to us and our children?
Best thing to do, I always just cut off the end.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
literally.
what I was going to get to. It is easier to cut off the end of an ear of corn
Just
than
like
it
that.
is
Done.
to worry about it. And it's done, and it's not contaminating the rest. It's not bothering it. Like my daddy says, the worm didn't eat much.
No, didn't eat much.
If you want to shuck it outside, it's kind of a nice outside activity to do. And you just peel the husk back. You peel that husk back, and that's it. If you have damage, you cut off the end. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about it.
That's right.
And for the silks, so of course the silk being the little fine hairy part on the ear of corn, I just like to take and
just rub it off.
Rub it off.
Now
like
there
this.
are, I know you've probably seen when you do like a fingernail washing
Oh, yeah.
little brush or something like that. Those work really good. We'll get, Erin, if you'll get this over here, I will, just so you guys, I wanted you to see. If you just pull it and be serious with it, just rip it straight down.
You're not going to hurt it.
Right. Okay.
I like to take and cut it in two, and then just pull it down.
That's it. And sometimes if you're outside, it makes it, it definitely
It's
makes it.
it's a fun thing to let the husband and the kids do.
Yeah, everybody do it
Oh,
together.
look, I found a friend. Oh, look, there he is. And like
A
I said,
little dude.
little worm just means it hasn't been sprayed.
Yeah,
It could be extra protein, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah, I'm not
think he
into
just bit me.
eating worms right at this point.
No, I don't think we're at that point in our lives, okay? You can feed it to your chickens. If you have chickens, put it outside for your birds. They'll actually really love it, so.
Okay, and I'll cut the rest of the end off.
So, I've got a fun fact about the silks.
Mhm.
Do you know what the silks are?
Silly mouse.
Hmm?
What is
The
it? What do
silk.
you mean? The silk?
The silk, what they are,
What is it?
that is what carries the pollen from the top of the plant into each of these little kernels.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you look, if you pay attention, each of the silks are attached to each of these different kernels.
Very cool.
So, and that's what helps with pollination of the plant. And if you ever see any like funny spots, I got an ear the other day that kind of like the kernels weren't straight. That is characteristic of improper pollination.
Okay.
Not a big deal. Doesn't change anything in the corn. Still makes it taste just as good.
Right. So, Amy, with this being organic corn, I know a lot of people have questions a lot of times of what is BT corn? Can you explain a definition so that people know from a farmer's perspective, not just mine?
Happily. So BT is a bacterium. Sounds really scary. It's not. It's naturally occurring in the soil. Bacillus thuringiensis. And all BT is a naturally occurring soil bacteria that kills worms, but they have to eat it. So an organic farmer is going to take that BT and he's going to kind of sprinkle it on the tips of the ears of corn. And when that moth comes and lays her eggs and that caterpillar starts chewing on it, it's going to get a tummy ache and he's going to die, which for us is great. The worm, not so much.
What's the difference between BT corn and Roundup Ready corn?
Oh, that's a great point. So BT corn is a genetically modified corn variety that is not allowed in organic production. So you remember, BT is something that organic farmers use as a naturally occurring safe insecticide. The only thing it kills is that little worm when he chews on it.
But as we've seen, this definitely didn't use BT.
Well, you might, and probably didn't use enough, and it washes off really quickly, and so that's kind of the way it's supposed to be. It's short term, it works at that moment, and you're not going to hit them all, but you get a lot of things. Well, anyway, so BT corn has been genetically modified to have that protein that's in that bacterium already in the corn, like it's already there. But remember, it's genetically modified. So that's a whole nother conversation we can have as to what that really is. So that means that, yes, the farmer won't have to spray it with insecticide, but the insecticide's kind of already in it.
Right.
So
that's
just
where,
food for thought.
yeah.
Just
And so
food for
a
thought.
lot of times that's what you'll receive at the grocery store.
Yeah, because it yields higher, your farmer's going to get more, and they don't have to do as much, right? They don't have to go out there and sprinkle it with BT or spray it with whatever and some insecticide every
So a
so often.
genetically modified corn versus organic, you may have worms, right? You
Yeah,
might have the
with
end
organic.
of it with organic. Whenever you're looking at things that you purchase at the store is really basically the pesticide is genetically put inside of the corn for the most part.
And we can, like I said, we can go into
We
it.
can dive deeper, but just I
and-
wanted to tell everybody, just so that they know, because they've heard these terms, and by having those terms, you want to kind of get some education on it, so that when you're asking you about organic and why do you choose organic, that you actually have a reason, okay?
And
can
not
go
to
ahead and
say
put
that all farmers who are growing sweet corn are using BT or are using BT corn, but a lot of them are. And that's why it's important to really know your farmer, especially if they're not certified organic, to make sure you know your farmer and you know the management practices that they're doing.
And good for
And basically go to the farmer's market or go to a store where you can get to know people.
Yeah.
So, and the Roundup Ready corn, that's a completely different genetic modification. That is so that the farmer can spray glyphosate, which is Roundup, on the corn and it doesn't kill the corn. Roundup, glyphosate kills just about everything.
All right, so we have, with the corn, we went ahead and put the corn in here. That's going to take about 4 to 5 minutes with it boiling. Okay, so the water's already been boiling. I dropped those in. So 4 to 5 minutes with that. While I've got the last little bit of the chorizo zucchini boats going, and we are going to enjoy this so very much.
And share it with our families, which is what it's all about.
That's right. So hopefully your zucchini boat is actually going to look like this. And if it does, great. If it doesn't look quite the same, it's okay. It's going to taste yummy. So we hope you guys enjoy this with your family, and we look forward to making more recipes with Farmer Amy here in the future.